Hi and hello, my friends. How are you all doing? I hope you are all well and you have been busy throughout this week, and every one of us are practically doing something or the other to pass the few days which is remaining of this lockdown. We do not know exactly how the lockdown will look like, but as of now, we are safe and sound in our respective homes. Continue to stay safe and at home as much as possible, because you're staying at home, you're keeping the distance away from others is going to save lives. And the lives can be of your family, of your friend, of your neighbor, or anyone whom you come across if you are away from home. So let's keep up the spirit of being staying at home and keeping social distancing from each other, and maybe use this medium by which we can communicate, read, learn, and also kill our time by doing something worthwhile. All of us need to be aware that the world has gone into various changes, and to keep up the changes, we have to be always there. And it is us who should make the changes. Maybe changes in the way that we live, in the changes that how we teach and to whom we teach, and what are the things that the children, especially the young boys and girls who are just growing up and missing certain months of their important formative years in the classes or in the schools or in the colleges, what all experiences they are going through, and as they come back to school one day, what they will miss. I think those are the real questions that we as teachers, educators, administrators, parents, friends, and any one of us, we need to be really concerned for them. Thank you very much for your comment, Mr. Barua. You have been you have given a message on regarding the Maniram Dewan on the topic, and I would certainly today I am going to speak about Mr. Maniram Datta Barua. We call it Dewan. In the textbook it is written as Dewan, but it is Maniram Datta Barua. So I started reading about him. I also have to keep myself very busy to read all those things which I like to speak on. And in the lesson we have about Maniram Dewan in our textbook for the senior classes, and we learned very little about his life. And today I want to discuss with you about his life and his history. And it was very interesting to know this person Maniram Dewan, which we learned so little about. Actually, he was a great person. Really, he was a great person, and he was very smart, educated, very well. He was respected in his community, and he was many first thing in Assam. Was the first for many things in Assam. And let us not think of Maniram Dewan as a simple person who did something. Maybe he was a Dewan under the British rule in India, in Assam. But in spite of all those things, he did many things. So I started reading about him, and it was very interesting. And I want to share it with you because it is really interesting about this man. In the book, in the pages that is given up for Maniram Dewan, we learn very little. And so today I will speak on Maniram Dewan. And if there are others who come across him and you know better than me, or maybe you know something more in detail, certainly it will be a great help to know also from your side of the story. From my side of the story, as what I have read and what I have collected about Maniram Dewan, today I am going to share with you. So please, let's learn about this great man, Maniram Dewan. Now, as I told you, his name was Maniram Datta Barua. He was born in 17th April 1806. 17th April 1806. Now, when he was born, it must have been somewhere in the 16th, 17th, no, sorry, when he was born, it was quite early. But his family, his family, actually they had migrated from Kannauj, that is in Uttar Pradesh, to Assam in 16th century. During the 16th century, his family had migrated from Kannauj to Assam. Now, Assam was in a great map of the ancient religious centers of India, and it was very important that period of time also. So many families they migrated from Kannauj, and Maniram Dewan's family also had migrated from Kannauj, and they had lived somewhere in uh, Jorhat area. And as Maniram, during that period when Ahom rule was there, and we had what you call Purnananda Singha ruling the country, during that period, Maniram's parents plus Maniram, they were very high officials in the Ahom kingdom during that period. His family were in high rank during that period of time when kings were ruling Assam. But now the problem started that as there was infighting, dissent, and rebellion by the Mauryaans in 1769 to 1806. 1806. Remember, Maniram Dewan was born in 1806. Now, during 1769 to 1806, this was the period of Mauryan rebellion against the Ahom kings. So, this rebellion actually had weakened the authority and the power and the strength of the Ahom rulers. It had weakened it. After this, another invasion came from the Burmese. That was in 1817 to 1806. This invasion of the Burmese coming into Assam after the Mauryan rebellion, actually it was really very hard on the Ahom rulers, kings who were ruling Assam that period of time. So during this period when Burmese were ruling, Burmese had been attacked by the British and the British were chasing them back, and there was a treaty which was signed, that is Yandabu Treaty of 1806. It was signed between the Burmese and the British. During this period when this war was taking place in Assam, Maniram Dewan's parents and relatives and whoever were there, they had been shifted to, they had taken refuge in Calcutta. Remember, he was also from a very high class family. He also had a very high status in the community at that period of time. So the British had given him shelter in Calcutta, but as soon as the Treaty of Yandabu was signed in 1826, their family came back to Assam and they stayed in Assam. Now, Maniram Dewan started his civil service career at a very young age. At a very young age. It says that it was only 22 years old, Maniram Dewan, in 1828. He was appointed as the Tulsidar of Rangpur. He was appointed Tulsidar of Rangpur. And later on, when they came to realize his importance and his capabilities, even Puranda Singha, the Ahom ruler at that period of time, he made him the prime minister. That was during 1835 to 1833 to 1835. He was made the prime minister of the Ahom king. He continued in very good terms with the Ahom kings, and after the Purandara Singha's son Kamleswara, then Khandar Peswara, the grandson, still Maniram Dewan had kept his position under them, and he was still very capable person. Now, as soon as the king, that was Purandra Singha, was disposed by the British, that they needed no longer any rule under him because of so many treaties were signed with the Burmese, and other treaties were signed with the Ahoms, and the Ahom rulers were actually, now there was no rule in Assam, and the ruler who was ruling, Purandra Singha, was disposed by the British, saying that you are incapable and you are no longer needed in Assam. Now everything, the East India Company or the British East India Company will start ruling, and they had disposed him. So this period of time, Maniram Dewan also was still a young man. Just imagine, in 1828 he was 22 years old, so now it was 1835. 1835. He was still very young. So he was still very young, and during this period of time, we see that Maniram Dewan was now getting restless because lot of difficulties and problems and things were faced by the people of Assam during that period of time. Now, one of the reasons I feel in this reading that I have learned is that I found there are 7 reasons why Maniram Dewan had gone to Kolkata to write with a petition to Mafat Mills. And in this petition, he wrote number of reasons why all these problems were coming to Assam, and how he should, the British East India Company should start reorganizing themselves and maybe helping the people of Assam during that period of time. Anyway, we'll come to that. Now another interesting fact about Maniram Dewan, as I come to learn, was that he was the first person to inform the British that tea plants were growing in Assam. He was one of the first person, because he came to know that this Sangho people about Upper Assam area and Nagaland area, those area people at those ancient Assam time, that period of time, the Sangho people, they were growing some plants which had the characteristics of tea. So when in 1820 he directed Major Robert Bruce and his brother Charles Alexander to take this plant from Assam, from the Sangpo tribe, and they had gone to Kolkata to Dr. Nathaniel Willis. Dr. Nathaniel Willis, they had gone to him and said, please test this tea plant which is found in Upper Assam, whether it is the tea plant that we are looking for, which China has a monopoly, that they are not allowing the tea plant to grow and do business in other parts of the world. So when they went to the Calcutta Botanical Garden, where they did research on tea plants and all the botanical things that is in there, they found that this tea plant was not the genuine one which was found in China. Anyway, now 1833. In 1833, East India Company decided that tea plantations should be taken care by Captain Jenkins, Captain F. Jenkins in Assam, and he took up the leadership of going to Assam and organizing tea plantation. So the samples which were collected, another samples were collected by Lieutenant Carlton, who was the assistant of F. Jenkins. Another sample was collected, and this sample was again taken to the Botanical Gardens Research Center, and they found that this sample was the genuine one. So when the tea committee from Calcutta, they came to Assam, they visited Assam, and Maniram Dewan was the one who met Dr. Uh, he met Dr. Nathaniel Willis, and he was representing Ahom King Purna Nanda Singha. He was representing. So now in 1839, he became the Diwan of Assam Tea Company at Nazira. In 1839, he started to work under the British East India Company as a Diwan in Assam Tea Company at Nazira with a salary of rupees 200. Oh, during that period, 200 must have been quite a lot. Anyway, now slowly, when he learned the techniques and he got the idea and whatever, he started to establish his own tea garden, that is in Chinamara in Jorhat. The tea garden in Chinamara in Jorhat was established by him. Oh, great man. Also, he got the first Indian tea planter name to be an Iris, because he started to plant tea and in commercial, that is in Jorhat, which is part of the Toklai world's first tea research lab, which was established in 1911 as Toklai experimental station for tea and other related things, basically dealing with tea. He established another tea garden at Salum, which is very close to Sibsagar. Maniram Dewan, not only tea planter, he was involved in other business also. He started iron melting. He started doing gold business. He started salt production, matchlocks, hoe, cutlery, hand tools, boat making, coal supply, elephant trade, construction of building for the militaries and garrisons who were stationed in Assam during that time. Also, he was involved in agricultural products. Oh, can you imagine? That man at that period of time, he was involved in all these kind of activities. Then he also established markets. And many of those markets he established are because of him, like Garohat in Kamrup, Nagahat near Sibsagar, Borhat in Dibrugarh, Sisihat in Dhemaji, Darangia Hat in Darang. Oh, imagine, he was practically everywhere, looks like. He was practically everywhere in all types of business he was dealing. Imagine, that man had really brains. He had real brains. But then the period came like 1850. Now the British East India Company started to see the competition that this man was throwing to their established chain supply of looting Assam that period of time. The British East India Company started to see that this man was a real competitor in their business, and immediately trouble started for their families. By 1851, Captain Charles Holroyd seized all the facilities which were given to them regarding machineries and other things. And now they were practically said, don't do any more all these kind of things. Now Maniram Dewan's family was quite a big family. If you look at Maniram Dewan family, he had a family member of 185. And when the British East India Company stopped their activities, imagine what kind of situation Maniram Dewan must have gone through and his family. Okay, 1852, Maniram Dewan wrote a big long petition. Now, as I was telling you, There's some of the things which are mentioned in the textbooks are only few, but today after reading all these things about Maniram Dewan's petition to Muffat Mills, I came to realize that he had summarized the problems that were being faced by the people of Assam during the British East India Company time. And I'm going to go through some of the petitions, points of petition that he had written to Muffat Mills, who was at that time the judge at East India Company. He said, the state of Assam is in a hopeless situation. They were misery because now there was practically nobody to look after them. People had some kind of a physical support or mental support with the Ahom kings, but now the Ahom kings were disposed. So why don't you make some changes into your policies so that people of Assam will feel once again comforted? He started the policies that they were doing that in Assam, like introduction of high taxation, unjust tax system, unfair pension scheme, introduction of opium taxation and not allowing the public to do that. All these things really were some of the things. He also criticized that puja which was being done in excuse me, Kamakhya temple was being not allowed. He also criticized in the letter that all the things, tombs, sacred things, relics of the Ahom period were being looted and stolen by the Britishers. Excuse me. He also disapproved that the Marwaris and the Bengalis were given more preference. Really pointed out the one of the reasons was that he and his fellow people who were in Assam, the literate ones, let's say the literate ones, who were once in a very high positions and in doing their work successfully. Now they were being ignored by bringing in the Marwaris and the Bengalis to do their clerical job, which is almost equivalent to civil service post at that period of time. So this petition was a genuine petition which he had taken there, fighting for the rights of the people of Assam. So I found this man to be a great man, Maniram Dewan. He had some very good points why he had gone to Kolkata, and maybe in the next episode or somewhere in the later part we will come to know why Maniram Dewan, as a great leader, as a great businessman, as a person of high society and lived in high society during that period of time, how he was unable to start the revolt of 1857, which we actually find that it was a failure. So we will learn also about that part of his life, that why he had failed. And that time I will also bring the message which I got from Mr. Barua regarding the arrest and what happened to Maniram in his later part of his life. So here we find that I have drawn a character sketch of this great person, Maniram Dewan, Maniram Datta Barua. I have tried to find some interesting things about him, and I also learned a great many things about this great person. So when we study about Maniram Dewan and we talk about his name, I think we have to remember many other things associated with Maniram Dewan which we do not realize. Like he was the first Indian tea trader, or he was the first one to export or make tea commercially. Plus he was also he established many markets and tea gardens. So imagine, we cannot ignore this fact that what and who Maniram Dewan was. And let's hope and understand that many of you who are reading about Maniram Dewan, you will be able to get some of these points, and these points will be very good points for you to write down when and if the question is asked, like who was Maniram Dewan, or write the characteristics or character sketch or life history of Maniram Dewan. You can also include these points and search and study and learn so many things about these great people that are mentioned in our textbook. And for those who are not reading textbook, or those who don't read, I think it is nice for us to learn about this great man of Assam's history, which will be always there. Thank you very much, and I hope and pray that you are learning, and let's hope and pray that all of us are safe and sound. Very soon, life also has to go through changes, so we will go through those changes, and it will be good for all of us. Maybe we will recharge ourselves for a better tomorrow. Thank you very much, and stay safe. All the best.